back to another episode of Ready Set Podcast. My name's Angus.
I'm Ricky.
I'm Derek.
So, you know what? A really common thing in Asian culture is face. And for those who don't know what face is basically it's respect and...
How others perceive you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is that mostly compared to respect. And it's mostly, it's image, like what people...
Image.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about image. And that's something I know, like, traditional values, they really keep that. But I think, like, for myself, I don't really like that. Yeah, but, like, when you guys grew up, was face or this image thing, was it really taught and grilled in you?
Well, I mean, back then, the older cultures were definitely, it was definitely like, if you think about it, it was basically a standing in society when, like, you had a lot of face in like a village or a city or whatever not, right? So because, like, if you had the more face you had, the more well known you were, and, like, the more prestigious your family name became, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, say if somebody with a lot of face mentioned you, or like you were friends with somebody with a lot of face, it automatically kind of rubbed off on you too.
Right. So it's like a social ladder.
Yes,
Right,
basically,
it's a social ladder,
It's like a
and
popularity
It's
contest.
a popularity contest. It's sort of like how...
For adults.
and it really boils down to wealth in a way.
Yes.
That's why everybody back then, everybody always cared about wearing, like, a Rolex watch.
Yeah.
Or driving, like, a BMW. You know, like, name brands were such a important thing. It really shows off how wealthy you are and how well you are in the social economic ladder.
Yeah. Like, we've been doing it since we were elementary. Like,
Right.
without even knowing. Like, we have...
Reebok, or Nike.
Yeah, or like toys, right? Like, we're like, we have this toys, we show it to our other friends. Like, well, I got the newest, like, maybe Pokemon Red or whatever. We were like, oh my god.
And then everybody would crowd around that one
Yeah.
person. And you'd be like, oh, I will be your friend.
Yeah, exactly. So it is like a popularity contest.
And maybe that's why in Asia or China or whatever, having what's that thing, like knockoffs, like no names or
Fakes.
whatever, it really it's hard to distinguish. Like, let's say, for
Yes.
example, you have a Gucci wallet, right? Like, oh my god, that's like a couple $1,000s.
Yeah.
But then you could buy like a knockoff that's like $20.
Yeah.
And that could, I don't know, some people can be tricked by that, right?
Yeah.
And you buy a $20 Gucci wallet, kind of tricks others into thinking that you're in a better off position.
Yeah. And they want to be your friends. Like, yeah, that's the one thing I don't like face or this kind of popularity contest is that you really don't know who is actually your true friend. It's like, are they being your friend because they want something? Or are they being genuinely just wants to get to know you? That's one of the big things I don't like, this whole face thing. And there's also, you know, pressure, what society wants you to be. I feel that's a very traditional mindset.
Right.
You know, some people might disagree with me, but I feel it really gets in the way of...
Finding like a potential partner.
Yes, and there's a lot of pride and ego when it comes to this.
So much
right?
ego.
So much ego. It's like, oh, I'm better than you.
Right.
Because I have this. And it was, oh, I don't want to do this because it makes me look bad.
Right.
But like...
Oh, actually, you know what? That reminded me, because a few years ago, I was dating this girl, and then she was trying to flex, saying like, oh, my dad drives a Porsche. Right? And I was like, oh, wow. So I was like, oh, this girl comes from a rich family. And then she says, oh, but like, me being a little bit of a car guy, like, I knew about the pricing of some Porsches, right? And I'm like, oh, cool. That's really cool. What model does your dad drive? And then she's like, oh, a Porsche Macan. And I'm like, oh my god.
Wait, what's that?
I mean, like, at that time, Macans were in the mid 40s or low 40s. Like, my car is more expensive than that, right? So anyway, I was thinking, oh my god, this girl's trying to flex, or maybe her family's trying to flex, but the value itself was not really
good,
even that high.
Because it's
right?
different
But
classes.
people get that to
boost themselves
up and put themselves in that brand name, right?
Yeah, just because it's like it's the Porsche name, right?
Exactly.
Like,
It's the image. They want to make themselves look
Just
more
like-
prestige. Like
Yeah.
you
Prestige.
said.
It's just like how Tesla is like really popular now, right? Like
everyone.
so many Asians have Teslas, and it's like it's really like a
It's like, oh, you have it? Oh, I can. Some people, it's like, oh, this is the new thing. Oh, I want that.
yeah.
yeah.
It's like a club. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I wanna
It's a
join
club. It's a straight up club, right?
Yeah, it's like a popularity contest, but for adults.
But like the thing is, it's like everybody wants into that though, at least in the Asian culture, right? So you're like, you want to be, as long as you're part of it or you take part of it, then like it might not be true in like the real aspect, but I think people view it as others will view them with more respect that way because they do own or do have these kinds of things.
I'm confused. What do you
like,
mean?
Sort of like so like Tesla, right? So they're like, oh, maybe if I get the Tesla itself, like people won't look
They
people
won't look down on you.
look down, yeah, like say like instead of you having a Honda Civic or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But that's the one thing I don't like is because then you're just judging.
Right.
You're just straight up judging, and then
Asians judge a lot.
they say they don't judge. They freaking judge all the time.
we judge so much.
So the thing is, like, when people do that, it's yes, you don't want to get looked down upon. Then you end up making friends, but these friends, as soon as you, let's say, you can't afford what they can do,
Or you take a dip in social
or you,
status.
then they look at you as in like, oh my god, this guy can't afford this, or this guy's broke,
Right.
whatever.
Or like
Or this
they
person
don't-
is broke.
Yeah,
not guy.
they
please.
they don't want to associate with you anymore. after
Exactly.
that, right?
Is that what you want a friend? A friend should not care. They should be genuine. They should doesn't matter where you are in life. They should still treat you with respect, and they
Right.
should still support you no matter what, right?
Yeah,
Such a big
'cause
thing.
Everybody
Yes,
has
so-
ups and downs.
Yeah, so like I think that's one of the biggest things why I don't like face because it really shows who can be your true friend or not, right? This is why I really don't like this whole face thing, especially when it comes to weddings. You know,
like or
usually-
any events and
any events like you have to like for Asian culture usually when someone if there's a family friend that invites you to a wedding,
yeah,
you gotta invite them back.
yeah.
But for my mindset is if I don't know you, I ain't inviting you. Like I met you once, I
Right.
ain't inviting you because you probably made no impact in my life.
Yeah.
And for me, a wedding is like I just want to share this with the people that made an impact in my life and who I really care.
Yeah.
And why would I invite an auntie that I met once that
Right.
gave me cookies? Like I owe her a wedding? Hell no! I'll give her cookies, but I'm not gonna get her to bring her to my wedding.
Right.
So I think, but then this is frowned upon because then
Yeah.
it makes her parents look bad,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
And they care about their own image, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
image. So, but this is why I don't like this whole image thing. But
It's a bit of a generational thing because
It is.
because let's say for example your parents, I'm guessing all of our parents, they care a lot about the face and
the
image.
face is huge.
Sort of like
Especially-
ancestors as well, you know, and
Yes.
then you don't want to disrespect your parents, so you're kind of coerced into doing something that you don't want,
Yes.
but it's to kind of keep your family happy or your
Yeah.
parents.
Or their relationships
Right.
Yes.
stronger. Yeah.
It's like
it's such a
for-
complex thing, face,
Yeah,
right?
like for people that don't know or want a great example, watch Mulan. It's a great example. You know, she had to restore her family's honor, so she went to war. But you know, when they found out she was a female, it was just like her whole family was like frowned upon, stuff like that. So it's like that, right?
Yeah, it's a very big cultural thing, and like you said for the wedding stuff. Oh, not even weddings, like just any
Family events
big
or
big
events.
family events or big events in general. It's like
Can't disrespect family.
yeah, you can't disrespect
Bring
them.
dishonor to family.
But-
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
it is the number one taboo, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the thing is, you're like wondering, it's like, do I have to invite my like third cousin removed?
Right.
Because you're like I don't see them. Like I maybe visit them once in like wherever they live.
Right.
Like,
I don't know you.
there.
I don't know your middle name, right?
Yeah, it's like you don't even know who that person is until you're like, oh, I'm your cousin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're like always trying to like you go down the family tree trying to figure out who's who where on there.
Exactly. So I think that's why I don't like this whole image, this whole face thing. I think it also ruins relationships too.
Do you think that face the culture of face itself, not just like culture, but the culture of face itself passes down more easily through wealthy people, or is more ingrained in wealthy people?
Okay, so the thing is, I can't really say that. I can't say because I'm not like my family's not wealthy.
Yeah.
Say it.
That's
Like,
any
the
of
thing
our
is, like,
families are
it really
wealthy.
depends on what people mean wealthy, right?
Yeah.
Like, people's value on money is very different.
Sometimes when I meet like wealthy individuals, sometimes I get a certain sense that like the face/respect aspect of it is very it comes with the status of being wealthy. And I don't know if like if these kinds of people are going to be like true friends or not, or if they're just like in it because they're like, oh, you should know my name because I like, or my family has this business, or
I
like
am
this
Mr.
affair.
Wong.
Yeah.
You know who I am. There's like 10 Wongs out there. I really don't know who.
He's like, your name's too common. I don't know.
I'm Wong too, so I really don't know.
But yeah, so like that's one of the things I've always like wondered about, because I was like, yeah, like I've met like, don't get me wrong, I've met some really cool like wealthy people, and like they don't care at all about like that kind of face stuff. But like there are others where you feel like they're just doing it to try and get that
To impress.
Yeah, to impress.
So I think that stems from insecurities.
Insecurity, and maybe it's like something that their family put on them as well.
It's just like instilled, something they teach, but a lot of it comes, maybe their parents are insecure too, right? That's why they teach the kids like, oh, you have to do this, you have to do this thing, you have to do that, so people don't look down on you.
That's such a big thing, is to never let anybody look down on you.
Yes,
right? That's like an ingrained Asian thing.
Yes, to people, because a lot of people everyone's scared to be looked down upon. It's being judged, right?
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing is that I think it's good. So the one thing I do think it's important to give face is when it comes to relationships, as in, let's say, a work environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you really want to put your manager down in front of everyone? He's gonna make your life so miserable after that. So it's like you gotta be smart when to give face.
Yeah.
So like for me, I don't really like giving face, like this whole, aspect of giving face.
Yeah.
But I think it's very important knowing when to give face.
Yeah.
Just be very conscious of knowing when to do it. Because it can really save you when it comes to career or even relationships, or just ruining something
like
great,
right? Like some like don't burn your bridges, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Like if your manager is talking in a meeting and he messed up, or he said something that he said he did something but you did it, don't just say, technically I actually did it.
Yeah.
You're making him look stupid and bad, and he's gonna remember that for his whole entire life. And you might want to switch companies after that. But I think there should be a balance of giving face.
Right.
But if that giving face part prevents you from having a wedding, that you want to have a smaller wedding or whatever, but you're guilt tripped into having a bigger one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Inviting all your
and then going way over budget.
Exactly.
Or whatever.
The thing is, like, this whole budget thing is financially it's impacting you, not them.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay to be selfish sometimes and not just be caring too much about what other people think.
Do what makes you happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you care too much, then you're not really living your life.
Do you think that relationship-wise, like let's say romantically, would you would it really affect you if you were with somebody that was like that cared about face a lot? Like say you were compatible in all other aspects, but
I think it does matter, because you can correct me if I'm wrong, but when you're in a relationship, if that person cares so much about face, she probably doesn't want to hang out with you if you're not in the same social status or you do something wrong. She's like, yeah, you make me look bad.
Right.
But I still love you though, and we're so compatible. But I just can't be with you in this certain thing. Or if she has a party and she doesn't invite you because you make her look bad.
Right.
Is that really love, Derek?
That is a good point.
So that's why I'm like, I don't really think you're really that compatible then.
It's priorities for them, right? Like they value how others perceive them in image over you, right?
And I think relationship should be you 1st,
Mhm.
like above everything else, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think it really works unless you're both really care about image. Then then I guess you're very compatible in that way, and it might work.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my perspective.
Go broke and make it work.
Yeah, or both of you guys go broke, and you guys good.
Yeah, I'm actually really curious about like how face like just because we grew up here in like the Western Hemisphere, so I'm like super curious as to how that culture of face is doing in the more Asian countries these days, right? Because like what we said, generationally, I think it's going to fade out for sure. But because it was so strong back then, like even when our parents immigrated over here, they brought it with them, right?
You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, even Western cultures have their own little exclusivity.
Yeah,
Like
it's like
they have their American Express. That's the metal card. You know, like that. It's desirable. It's cool. It's a flex.
or like Beverly Hills, right?
Right.
Like a rich area.
Yeah, it would
like
be
a gated,
west side for us.
or west side, or like a gated community, right?
Gated
It's like the same thing.
communities,
It's like, we're more of the elites.
Right. So every
Yeah.
culture has its
Own
own.
face.
Yeah, their own version of a face, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I guess it's really
So
very dependent on how you were raised.
But maybe it won't ever fade out because you want to climb up that social economic ladder to show that you are able to genetically like provide better for your offspring kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's really maybe it's what's that bird? They always want to get like a shiny object in their nest to show that they're capable.
A crow?
Is it a crow?
I don't know if it's
Magpie?
Magpie? I don't know. There's some sort of bird, right? They're
Yeah.
always looking for something shiny.
Yeah.
And then that shows that they're capable, right?
Oh,
So
interesting.
even humans, we try to climb up a ladder. Fancy, shiny American
Watches,
Express card.
cards,
Yeah, fancy like Rolex, fancy Rolls Royce car,
Yeah,
or whatever.
well, it's to make us feel good, right? Like everyone likes to feel good.
Yeah, it's good to treat yourself sometimes.
Yeah,
I'm
it
not
does,
saying
it
that's
does.
not, but
no,
yeah.
it does. Yeah, I think it's okay to buy expensive things,
Right.
but it really depends on how you
Flaunt it.
flaunt it, right?
Yeah.
Like I think it's very important to stay humble. is
Yeah,
what you're
like
saying.
if you buy it for yourself, it's the same. It's fine. But if you buy it to try to include yourself into some elite
or
circle,
impress people, I think you're doing it for the wrong reason.
Right.
Yeah.
But like you said, I think climbing that social ladder, everyone's really trying to move up, right?
Right.
And then I think that really enables people to, let's say, if you have kids, right?
Right.
Everyone knows private schools are better than public schools, and that's a huge reason why sometimes people go to like more of a gated community, a
Yeah.
better,
For networking with a higher
Yes.
class, right?
Yeah.
and it allows you to go to like, let's say, like Harvard, right? If you have connections to go to Harvard, easier to get to somewhere
Right.
like more of elite school. So I think it is important. Like face does plays a huge role when it comes to moving up that ladder.
Wait, we started off this conversation saying face is shitty, and now we're saying
it is crappy.
It's garbage.
Yeah, it is garbage. So
There are useful.
there's
points to it.
benefits. So that's what I'm saying. Like for work, like a work environment, right? It is good to be conscious to know when to use it.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying to be a dick. About
Right.
it.
It's important to be humble most
Yes, be
of the
humble.
time.
Yeah.
Right?
But it does have advantages, but you don't want to be that person just doing it for that reason.
Yeah.
Or
just
that girl.
Don't let it drive your life, kind of thing.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, your main priority should not be that, right? You should be living your life happy,
Yeah.
right? Even if you're
And,
honestly like
and not stressing about I need to give this person face and then this
Right.
person's
yeah,
face.
because then
As
you're
long
caring
as-
too much, and then you're giving yourself stress, and you end up just not really enjoying what you're doing. So, but it does come with its perks later on. So I don't know. Maybe it might not be perks. Maybe I'm totally wrong because I'm not there yet. So Derek, would you be if you were, let's say, you made it up there? Would you hang out with me? Because would I bring your face down? Like,
yeah. Would you invite us to your wedding if you're like a billionaire? Once you're a billionaire.
And then let's say if let's make it a bit more interesting. Let's say if your wife was also well off.
Yeah.
And then she's
the 1%.
like, yeah, and then she's like, hey, like I I really can't have Angus and Ricky here. Like,
Yeah, they're too poor.
they're too freaking poor. Like Angus is
Like they're gonna bring them
grabbing
down.
too much food at the buffet all the time. Like this guy looked like he's starving.
He came to he's gonna come to our wedding wearing New Balance shoes.
Yeah, like, doesn't have a tie when he comes. Ricky doesn't have a tie.
Can't
either.
afford a tie.
Not the same color blazer.
See, that's the thing with me. I was like, I don't think my wife at that if that future wife at that point would ever marry me, because if I ever got to that social standing point, you'd probably see me wearing. I'd be the type to wear.
He's
like,
the groom that wear jeans.
Yeah, they wear jeans. I'd be wearing jeans or like sweatpants all the time, and like nothing's fancy. So like if I walked out into society, you probably couldn't even tell.
Wow.
Damn. Okay. Well, sounds like we'll still be friends.
Yeah. All right. So we'll make sure we find somebody for you. Your partner is not like a super judgy, cares about face kind of thing.
Yeah, because for me, if I ever go into a relationship where someone is it's like
image conscious,
very image,
Yeah.
then it's never gonna work out because I really don't care what people think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So same thing with you, right?
Same thing with me. Like I would never go for like a Mercedes or BMW kind of car just for the status, right? There's a lot more cars, that are of better value with similar internals or better.
Yeah.
My previous partner was making less than what I was and was driving a Mercedes, just like living outside her means kind of thing, right? It was like family money, but still, it's like I don't care for that flex.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's not something I strive for.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it's a lot about how we were growing up with. Like we've seen the crappy side of like having giving face,
living
and like
East Van, right?
Yeah, living East Van. Like our families weren't super wealthy, but we were still subject to that kind of face.
Well, they came here as immigrants. Right?
Yeah,
right.
So it's a lot more with less money. Where nowadays it's a bit different. The new, like let's say, a lot of Asian people that come over here, they're way more wealthy.
Yeah,
they're rich.
They're rich.
Like suitcases full of cash rich.
Yes, like rich. So like it's so different compared to when we were young and the ones here. The ones here now, they drive like for an N. Like if they have license plate.
The
like
Ferraris.
A new driver.
Right.
Driving like a Ferrari.
Right.
Like a Mercedes.
Nissan GTR.
Like the was it Tesla Model S or whatever. Like the nicest ones. I'm like, for a new driver. Damn, for my first car, I had like a Nissan Altima.
The old beater.
$1,000.
That's leaking oil like crazy and possibly
it could not go uphill on a snowy day. It would go downhill when I'm trying to go uphill.
Yeah.
So it was, like the thing is, it's so different from when we were young.
Yeah, but like I think the reason why I say is like just because we were subject to that and we weren't on the wealthy side, like we can see all the downside,
the perspectives
of like of what the face culture is about, and so I think we're a bit more in tuned with, or I say more well balanced on this face thing, and just being like we shouldn't rely on it too much, or like we shouldn't make it dictate our lives, kind of deal.
Yeah. So I think like it's very important. Oh, not important. Jeez, I think you're saying is it's good that we grew up poor. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. keeps us humble.
Keeps us humble.
Keep us humble. Number one thing, stay humble.
Yeah.
Stay humble. You just gotta work at a very young age. Like when did you guys start working?
High school?
High school. Yeah.
Yeah. I started working when I was in elementary. So
Child labor.
I didn't even know what child labor was until a customer asked me, is this child labor? And I had to go to the teacher next day at school and ask them what child labor was. And that's when I knew what child labor was. And then I told my parents, and then they actually start paying me. So that was but it's good. Working at a very young age does teach you a lot.
You learn a lot, right?
You learn a lot. A value of money is very important. How hard is to make that money.
Wouldn't you find it important as a trait for your potential partner to have worked like a retail job or whatever, where they're subjected to like harassment or like shitty behavior from
and
customers?
they learn to deal with it, right?
Yeah. Learn to handle it, or like just be subjected to that sort of shitty behavior,
Mm.
and it helps you grow as a person.
It does.
Yeah.
Well,
I think in that case, it's like we would, but it's also like that's one of the rare cases where I would say it's worth it for you as a person to parse out face to that because they've earned it, right? It's not like they got it from their family's money. Their family was super wealthy, and
or
then
they're like
they
really
were,
attractive or something.
Yeah.
And everything's just kind of
Given to you.
Go give it to you.
well, it is known like people who are more on the attractive side, tends to be a bit easier than people who are not so attractive,
That's true,
right?
yeah.
So I think it's very important for people to kind of struggle a bit just to know how hard, and it kind of builds that mentality too, right? Be able to like power through it, know how to, if things get tough, be able to go through it instead of just giving up easily. I think that's the very important thing. Yeah, we went from face all the way to working hard.
Hey, those two are connected somehow.
They are.
They're
Yeah,
definitely connected.
But yeah, I don't think for us it definitely won't matter to us, and I don't think for our future children we probably wouldn't push that onto them as well if on there, right?
Yeah.
I'm making my kids work when they're very young.
Child labor? You're a supporter of child labor.
I am introducing child labor to my family. But the thing is that I'll only make them work when they start at grade 8.
Yeah.
Because I started working in elementary at like grade 6 or grade 5. My parents apparently made me work even earlier than that.
You just don't remember it.
I just don't
It's too
remember.
traumatic.
No.
Everything was like my childhood. Well, like my parents, like they have a business, so they just work all the time. So mostly I would spend either at my grandparents' place or the factory.
Right.
So like if
Child factory.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it's
That's
like-
not-
It's like the sweatshops.
that's why my hands are so calcy, like like it's so rough. But that's like I think at such a young age I was always there, so I was always helping out in a certain way. But if I was to have kids, like high school, like grade 8.
Yeah.
Like elementary, I feel it's a great time for a kid to be a kid. Like go out, enjoy, have lunch,
No
play-
worries.
Yeah, play tags, play video games, like no worries, like do your homework,
Yeah.
of course. But enjoy life. But once you go into high school, I think it's good to start implementing responsibilities.
Yeah.
There's kind of
More
set them
structure.
up for the adult life, right?
Yeah.
Because when you hit uni, that's kind of like that adult life sort of
Yeah.
until you're finally graduated. But I feel it's very important to have those life skills.
Would you guys teach your children about what face is though? Like, would you like tell them early on
Yes.
about like what
don't-
it is?
Okay,
kind of
I don't
thing?
think a child needs to
No,
be
needs to
taught
know.
that.
No.
Because they will learn
They
that
learn.
from you.
Yeah.
They learn it.
Like naturally.
Okay.
And then-
but like we don't implement face too much in our lives right now, right? So
No.
that's the thing.
Like work, I do.
Yeah, work. Just
When it
work
comes to
though.
work.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to like us, like people I hang, like,
Yeah.
no, but the thing is that the people I hang out with, everyone is so like you guys.
Yeah.
You guys don't really care. You guys are genuine. You guys are super chill.
We're poor.
I didn't say that. That was all Ricky. I did not say poor. I think we're very wealthy in our minds.
In our happiness level.
Yeah.
Happy index.
Like, I don't think anyone will ever be wealthy unless you're like Elon, maybe not Elon, like Bill Gates or whatever. But I think money is just a number. Like, as long as you have enough where, you can sustain your living
Yeah. Comfortably,
lifestyle, like, you're fine, right?
Yeah.
If you can't sustain it, maybe a simpler lifestyle. But I think all of us we don't say, hey, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
We all treat ourselves as an equal level. And if some of us are not like on the same level, but we still treat how we see each other is
Yeah.
the same. So I think this is why I don't really have this whole face thing for all of us is
Yeah.
because we don't see each other that way.
Yeah. Because we're all equals in that.
We're all
in
equals.
that-
Like I treat
equals.
all of us equals. Like if I like you, like if I vibe with that person, that's the sense I'm getting from them, right?
Yeah.
If someone's like I met someone at a party, and the first thing he said. So for people out there, if this is the first thing you say, I'm not gonna be your friend. Right? I'm gonna hate you so much. But this person said, "You see that building over there? I sold that for like a couple million. I don't know what that
Jesus.
number." And that's the first thing he said to me. And the first thing I said was like, oh, cool. And I turned away and I started talking to another person. 'Cause
Yeah.
This person was a dick.
Oh, fuckers.
I freaking hate this person.
He
People
was
that
the
flex
one that
really
wanted,
hard.
the flex. He really wanted to face that
He
guy.
like he was so into like he does really well for his career, but
Yeah.
like I give 0 Fs. How much money you make, how well you do. Like I really don't care. I just want to get to know you as a person
Right.
and how nice of you. I just want to be with a nice person. Man. So don't ever say that to me.
Yeah.
'Cause we ain't gonna be friends.
You could tell how much that dictated his life because
Yeah,
if that's
right.
the first thing someone says to you, you'll be like, dude, you really want status.
And he was so shocked because he was like in that whole Asian group. It's an Asian group,
Yeah.
and they're more like the well-off side.
Oh.
So everyone likes to talk about like money, how much they
They
make,
always talk about money.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like I really don't care, man. Like I just don't care. And then there was a couple of those people that were really chill. They don't talk about money. They just
Yeah.
talk about like, what do you like to do? Oh, I like to
Yeah.
play games or
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah.
I just start talking to that person.
Yeah.
You know what you do when he said what you should have done when he said that? You'd be like, cool, I work at McDonald's. I bet you he would have been the one to
Should
turn
I just
away.
like maybe like just slow clap?
Slow. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, this is how impressed I am with you.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the one thing I just don't like. But people like that. It's a social status thing.
It's
Like,
a-
kind of bring it
it's-
back to a social status. It's kind of show that I'm at this level.
Right.
And maybe they want to make connections too, right? It's like, oh, I can help you
Yeah.
in certain ways.
Or they want to socialize with those that are on that similar level,
Yeah.
like on par.
It's like, you scratch my back, I scratch your back.
Yeah,
kind of
it's
thing.
so much of that.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, we were playing Monopoly one time, and this guy was invited. I really don't like this guy. He was invited. We were playing Monopoly, and it's a freaking Monopoly game. He landed on someone else's property, and the rent is this high, and he's like, "This is crazy for this price."
Oh
and I'm
my
just
God.
like, "Bruh, I know you're a real estate agent, but this is just a video. This is just a board game, man.
Jeez.
Chill out, man. It's Monopoly. Don't take this for real."
Hey man, you know Monopoly ruins friendships.
I'm just like, oh my god, this guy is so full of himself. I'm just, dude. Yeah, so don't be that person.
Yeah.
So, no one wants to be friends with you. If they do want to be friends with you, they probably just want something. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, actually, with that, I'm actually curious for our listeners if they care about luxury brands, face value,
Yeah.
how important that is to them, whether it's not important at all, like with us, or if, once in a while you'll impulse or self-gratify
Yeah.
with a name brand sort of product, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, does Face really run in your family, or does it like drive a lot of what your family does when they do like big events or
Yeah.
those types of things?
And do you care about it?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Do you care?
Do
Are
you
you
care?
like us, or you like?
Or do you like to stay humble?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay humble.
But yeah, that's we're gonna wrap this up. You can follow us on YouTube, on Instagram, we're on Spotify.
We're on TikTok, Stitcher, Podbeans.
Yep, and we will link everything onto our link tree so that you can have one place to click it on and go to whichever link you like.
Perfect. All right.
Perfect. We'll see you on the next one.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.